people have this thing in their head that you can side hustle a property business. It's hard enough being full-time in property finding the best deals, let alone saying, I work 9 to 5, so I'm going to do it on the weekends and evenings. All of this pronoun stuff now as well. Teachers are too scared to say anything anymore. I just think it's sad to think that someone who goes to university for 4 years to go and teach people is then undermined in a class because of this rubbish that is going on now.
So what would you say to someone who wants to blow up on social media, TikTok? Can you give anything of that? Because I'm sure Aaron has, right?
I'm going to say what Aaron says.
Welcome back to my channel where we discuss personal development, business and everything else that's connected. If this is the first time you are visiting my channel, then please hit the like and subscribe button. Just to let you know, we are now releasing videos every Wednesday 11 AM and every Sunday 3 PM. Make sure to tune in as you don't want to miss them.
I got an invite, but he took his wife, so I wasn't happy. But it was basically, it was a big opening in London for a special branch of ZZ's, where they were launching Big Zoo's own menu.
Right.
And Big Zoo was cooking for everyone that day. So he cooked all the pizzas and everything. And Aaron's like, I'm getting him. He's coming. But no, we've got some big... You need to come down for the peak performance event.
I do.
I'm telling you, that'll be wicked as well for getting podcast guests.
Right.
We get some really good people there.
Believe it or not, this podcast that we're going to do today, it's not going to come out for about probably 7 weeks.
Yeah.
That's how I'm working.
Yeah.
Right? But
it's because you're batching it.
But I'm booked out till October. Like if someone got in touch today, I'm not booking them in till last week of October.
Yeah.
And then it's...
Are you picky who you have on?
Yeah, I am, but...
We are now. Like at the start,
yeah,
we got people on that we liked, good stories, but now they've got to have, for us now, it's return on investment, it's the following. They've got to have at least 200, 300,000 following now.
Well, it makes sense, but this is how I see it, right?
But so some people have good stories that don't have big following.
Yeah, but not only that, I get it because it's a business, right? But hear this out. So let's just say if someone's got an audience, but someone's got an offer. So let's just say you've got great offers, great service, but I've got like 100,000 people, and be like, right, you come on my podcast. We'll talk about your offer, but if you sell anything, we do a split or something like that. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think that's a fair exchange.
Yeah. For us, it was about, because YouTube's a slow burn. I don't know what you're sitting at right now, but it's a slow burn for subs. And last year we were like, it is, isn't it? It's tough. Last year we were like, fuck it, big guests only. We'll do less podcasts, big guests. And we did that. And we went last February from 800 subs to now we're just over 12,000.
Wow. In the last 12 months, yeah?
Yeah.
That's
and
amazing.
that was pushing YouTube Shorts and TikTok and then pushing them to the long form on YouTube. But it just literally on the way here, on the way up on the train, we had a podcast studio approach us saying, I will give you 8 hours a month for free, including editing, if you bring big guests to our studio.
Wow.
We just want people to see the big guests. It's a brand new studio.
Yeah.
And we're like, so 8 hours, we don't have to pay for anything. We don't want you editing it because we want our guys doing it, but you're going to give us 8 hours and record it all for us. They're like, yeah. We're like, yeah, sweet.
It's the more bigger you get, the more doors are going to just open. It's just the way it works, doesn't it?
Same, and it works well with the event as well, because the event, last event, we had Rob Moore. Rob Moore doesn't speak anywhere.
Right.
He doesn't even talk at his own events. We had Rob Moore. He loved it. And this one, we've got Daniel Priestley.
Okay.
Do you know Daniel?
Is he the one? I've read his books, I think.
Yeah. We got him for free.
Wow, okay.
We got Jason Greystone, who's a big guy on trading and business.
Yeah.
And we've got Shah Wuzman. Do you know Shah? She's Chris Eubank's life coach, Jay Alderton's life coach. She's got an MBE.
I need to come to your event.
I'm telling people say, what's your event about? And I promise you, it's hard to describe, but
No, I've
it's
heard good stuff about
it's
it.
the sickest event you'll go. It's the event that I would want to go to,
Yeah.
and it's the event that we built based on the other events that we went to be and shit. So it's sick, and we're sponsored by Alan Sugar, so that's a massive thing.
Yeah,
we got that after our second event.
So how many times do you do a year?
4, because it's a side hustle. Like, it's not even a hustle. It's not even the money. It's the platform for us. We maybe make 1,500 each out of each event. Like, it's not a money maker.
Yeah.
But we get 250 bodies in a room.
Yeah.
And it's a platform for us to showcase ourselves as well.
Wow.
And that's where we get it all from, like the doors it opens and that. But it takes a lot to sell 250 tickets.
Yeah.
Because they're like 40, 50, 60 quid each. So,
well, it's only going to get easier.
you know what, we thought bigger the guest, easier the ticket sales.
Really?
No, guest doesn't
Why
matter.
not?
Don't know. We do you know Mark Wright, who won The Apprentice, the Kiwi guy?
The Joey S.
No. He won The Apprentice, so he's Australian.
Right. No, I don't know him.
So he was the very first winner of The Apprentice, and subsequently the most successful winner with him. So it's the quickest business from The Apprentice to get to £1 million profit in the first year. And for his very first event, he got Piers Morgan and Lord Sugar on the same stage having a debate together, and he lost money because he couldn't sell the tickets quick enough.
So what is the strategy with events then? Like, how are you going to sell tickets? Like, how do you have to create the hype?
Pain points. Just has to be pain points now. Like, we refuse. So we're big on like organic content.
Yeah.
Like, we refuse to have ad spend. We do not spend money on ads.
Yeah.
So
why though?
Because I think it's good enough to be sold out
Got it.
organically.
Yeah.
And we have sold it out organically, but you get to like 2 weeks before the event and it's like squeaky bum time. It's like 100 tickets are sold. We've still got another 100 to go.
Yeah.
But but I like that. It pushes us. It's exciting. Then on the day, you're like setting up and that, and your phone's blowing up like another ticket. Someone comes in.
Last minute, yeah.
There's someone on the door. Can they buy on the door? Yeah, just give me my bank details. Like, I'm busy, and it's wicked. But yeah, it's a good buzz. That's what I like about it. It's the buzz. If it was just some dead event like in Holiday Inn Conference Centre,
it seems like you get a sugar like a sugar rush. Yeah.
It's good. It's good.
Nice. Okay, well, let's get right into it then. So you've been in property for 8 years.
Yeah.
You've done a lot of social housing block sales, assisted sales, sales trainer for 15 years.
Yeah.
You teach how to do sale with simplicity. You also teach how to do social media with simplicity. You do one-to-one mentoring. You're a sponsor of Roundtable Podcast, co-founder of London's leading network event Peak Performance, which we was just discussing. You're a family man.
Always.
Is there anything you don't do?
Dishes.
Who does them?
She does the dishes, I do the cooking.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that the deal between you?
It's like my escape. When I come home, like being able to just shut off for half an hour and cook a fresh meal.
Yeah.
It's like, that's my little escape in the evening.
So you cook every day?
Yeah.
Are you a good chef?
I am, yeah.
We'll have to ask her that, right?
I mean, like, yeah, you can. She wouldn't say no, or she wouldn't get fed. But no. Yeah, I enjoy cooking. It's a big passion. I grew up in restaurants. My dad was a chef, so
wow.
Yeah, I enjoy.
Really?
That. Yeah, first job was a pot washer.
No.
Yeah.
You must have learned a lot in the restaurant game.
I did.
Or did you not work in it, or did you just pot washing? And...
No, so 14, I started in the kitchen washing up.
Yeah.
I think it was more of a punishment than anything. And then I showed an interest in the cooking side.
Right.
So just like a little kitchen porter, helping out and stuff like that. And then occasionally helping out the front. Learned everything in the kitchen, enjoyed that, and then realised, you know what, I'm more of a sociable person.
Yeah.
And by 17, I moved to front of house. And I sacrificed my weekends. Like, it's not a sociable job for a teenager.
7 days a week, right?
But you know what? The skills that I learned, when I look at, like, I'm going to sound so old now, but the generation now, the 17, 18-year-olds, they're lazy. and they want everything quick and they don't want to work hard. They can't hold down conversations with each other, let alone someone who's double, treble their age. And I feel like I grew up really quickly doing that, and I learnt time management and problem solving. And
Mate, tell me about it.
It's graft, but loved it. It's set me up well, learnt many skills. Who knows if I was out every weekend where I would be now and who I'd be with and what I would be doing.
Yeah.
So it grounded me, but yeah, a part of my life that is, definitely one of those that I can say this has positioned me for where I am now.
I completely agree. I had 2 restaurants, and I understand.
Yeah.
It just literally takes over everything, problem after problem after problem on every aspect of life you can think of.
And it's hours as well. It's early morning to the food markets and late at night tidying up for the next session. It's graft, but again, it's a good skill to have in your armory, having that work ethic and everything like that. And I think that's how I'm able to do so many things.
Yeah.
Run different businesses. Everyone always says, how do you manage those businesses?
Yeah.
I think I just learned really young how to manage time.
Interesting. That's really interesting, that. So, how old are you now then?
36.
Fairly young.
Yeah, the greys are saying something. My barber says differently. But
Have you got greys?
I have, yeah.
What are you going to do about them?
You know what? If you see my dad, he's grown gracefully with it.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I think I can pull it off.
Turkey?
No.
Eventually?
No, you know what? It's a thick head of hair. It's not receding.
It is pretty
it's not
thick.
thinning out. So
No.
it's either wear it with pride or reach for the dress for men, I think.
Yeah, because that's what people are doing now, aren't they? For your teeth and for hair, they're literally just flying out to Turkey, aren't they?
Yeah, I've always been someone, teeth are like, people that know me, teeth are everything to me. Like, I've always looked after my teeth.
Well, you got a good pair.
Yeah, always looked after them. Like,
from the very beginning.
Yeah, no tea, no coffee, nothing that's going to stain them.
This is what I mean. People listen. Like, the reason your teeth are all messed up is because you eat sweets, cans, pop, and then you have coffee and then all sorts of madness.
Yeah, teeth are great. People notice especially when you've got a tan as well, people notice a nice white smile.
Yeah.
It's definitely an asset.
What do you spend on yourself then every month? How much do you actually spend on yourself looking after yourself? Pay attention. I've got some exciting news for you guys. I've launched a 7-day total free audio course for you guys, which is going to help you improve and elevate your mindset, and it's also going to help you in your business. All you have to do is go and sign up every single day, day 1 to day 7. You will receive a free 2-minute audio from me in my own words, in my voice, and what that will do is help you in your business and your mindset. Make sure you go and sign up and let me know how you find it.
So Aaron, my business partner, will laugh at this. So he's never known a guy to go to a shop that specialises in creams and spend £200 a month. So when I was younger, I had quite bad skin, which made me quite paranoid. And it wasn't until later in my life I found a shop that did skincare and that basically told me why. And I went there and I paid like £200 for like 6 different creams all lined up like above my sink, and it was like, right, this one, then that one. Within like a couple of weeks, my skin was like properly hydrated, it was glowing, it wasn't dry. So I'm not materialistic. I don't spend money on clothes. I spend money on my family. So literally as of next month, both my girls are in private school, which is a huge amount of money to invest. But I choose that over having a Lambo. I choose that over.
What does it cost though? You know, because I've not got kids, right? And see,
it's nearly £3,000 a month for the 2 of them. So it's and then obviously everything else that comes with that. Uniform was £600 each.
Yeah.
So but again, the investment is not like just in their education. It's in the circle of friends that they're then put with, and also the circle of friends then that we get from the school as well. Like it's
so
a
true.
Great place to be. The school's got great values. It's teaching them everything that I podcast about that state schools don't teach. They're learning about problem solving, money management, how to work as a team. Like, it's basically, it's going to be where business owners are made in this school. So I'm excited to see what my youngest, how she takes to her first year there. She's only,
how old is she?
She's 3. 4.
Wow.
She's 4. Sorry, she's 4.
That's really young. So that means that for the next, like, so you're just looking to take them through the private journey, yeah?
Yeah.
Nice.
So I did, up until January this year, my eldest, she's going to be 7 next week.
Yeah.
She went to a state school, and we had a really, really bad experience. And they're just overwhelmed with the sheer amount of kids that they have to have there.
Yeah.
The minimal staff that they're allowed to have, and it's just one of those situations where the naughty kids occupy the teacher's time and everyone else that's there to learn is neglected. She was just coming home, she wasn't motivated, she wasn't being challenged, and we just said she needs to be in an environment where she can thrive. So we took her out, and the difference since January is just mad, absolutely mad. So no regrets, but yeah, my money goes on maintaining my kids' education, and just really, for me, it's not about pulling money out and spending it now. It's about reinvesting it into my new businesses. You never know what's around the corner, do you? Like, it's not always going to be a cash cow property. I've felt it over the last 6-7 months with mortgages. Like, I've felt that in my business. So without investing my money into the other businesses I have, like the events company and my mentoring business, I would have been screwed. So for me, it's about investing and not necessarily spending right now.
Yeah, because you're smart now, innit? You're mature as well, and you understand, like, you've been through enough battles in life to where you understand, like, long-term investment. You understand all these things.
I mean, so I mentioned my dad's restaurant, but I saw my dad nearly go bankrupt with the restaurant as well.
Yeah.
So seeing what that did to my mum and my dad and my dad's health around it, like, that is definitely not something that I would ever want to experience. So again, like, being reliant upon one source of income is, like, absolutely no option for me.
Yeah. It's so interesting, right? Like, some of the things that happen in our childhood shape how we go on about our lives later on, right? As children, now we're grown up, and
that could be positive and negative.
Yeah.
But we still have the power to change that as well. Like, I know a lot of people will blame where they are today because of something that happened when they were 15, and that's true, but you do still have a choice to do something about trying to get over that. And I know it's easy for me to say, I haven't been through what everyone else has been through, but I truly believe that
I think you even saying that gives them an excuse.
You can move on from anything. You really can.
Definitely.
You've just got to have the mindset and the right people around you.
Yeah. And even you saying that, like, it gives people just any excuse they can get, they will jump on that. Seriously.
Yeah. They need
crazy
to justify it.
What do you think of the normal school system? Do you think it's all messed up, or do you think, like, there's some good parts to it? Like, what do you really think?
I mean, I'm pretty vocal about it. So
Are you?
If anyone's seen mine and Aaron's podcast, like, Aaron's just created a program called Escape Your 9 to 5 and Sack Your Boss. Like, the whole corporate world for us and state schools, it's just, I feel like state schools are breeding the good little 9 to 5 workers.
Yeah.
And not in all cases. I went to state school, but I'm a business owner. But the majority is you're taught skills that you're never going to be able to use in the real world, but they don't teach you the skills that you need in the real world to become successful or to become a business owner. And everyone said, like, you'll hear people echo this, but who uses algebra? When have you ever needed to use Shakespeare or stuff about atoms and stuff like that? It's interesting to know. Like, for me, religious education, that is Sunday for your parents to decide what you learn about and what you do. Like, I appreciate it's good to know about different people's cultures, but for some people, they have zero interest in that, and that hour or 2 hours a week could be spent on money management. It could be spent on life skills that are actually needed. So someone asked me the other day on a podcast, if you went back to your 16-year-old self, what would you do differently? And I said, I would start self-educating myself from the earliest point as possible, because everything I've used in my life and in my business, it has zero to do with anything that I learned at school.
Yeah.
Other than math,
Yeah.
everything is stuff that I've learned through experience, business, mentorship, training courses that I've been on,
Yeah.
YouTube. So I don't have a great deal of, I don't want to say respect, but confidence in the state school system. I think it's outdated.
Do you think it's getting worse as well, or is it getting better?
I do, because not wanting to make this one of these controversial podcasts, but
you will know because you've got kids. You look into this stuff.
I mean, like all of this pronoun stuff now as well. Teachers are too scared to say anything anymore. So my daughter's school is part of this larger academy, and at one of these academies, they're all girls' schools. The teacher welcomed them back from lunch and said, "Hope you all had a good lunch, girls."
Yeah.
And she was challenged to refer to someone by their pronouns of they and them. And the teacher made it quite clear that you come to a girls' school, if you don't identify as a girl, you shouldn't be here. To which the headmistress was brought in and the teacher was made to apologise in front of the class to the girl. And for me, I just think it's sad to think that someone who goes to university for 4 years to go and teach people is then undermined in a class because of this rubbish that is going on now. And I think teachers are too scared to do what they need to do now because everyone's so easily offended, aren't they?
Not to go too much down the rabbit hole, but where do you think this rubbish has come from? Do you think that there's people sit in rooms and plot these things?
I think it's always been there, but I think social media has given it this voice. Like, if you look at like Piers Morgan, used to hate him, now I love him, but the thing is, as entertaining as it is to watch his clips on TikTok, where he's got Stop Oil or he's got a vegan on there or something like that, he's giving them this huge platform, and it's just planting these ideas in people's heads that maybe are a bit vulnerable right now, and they're looking for a group that will take them in. It is what it is, but I'm.
Main thing is you're aware of it, and I think so many others
I'm worried for my daughter's generation of what kind of world they will grow up in. But you can only do so much as a parent, right?
Yeah. This is why you're putting them in the right places now, and just his fingers crossed, hoping that they do turn out really, really good kids, and I'm sure they will.
I think whatever you instill from home gives them the best chance. But it is a very strange world.
It is,
to how we grew up, but they're good girls, and hopefully they'll follow the right path.
Definitely. So would you ever get Lambos and stuff like that eventually, or is just that
what?
not interest you? Do you like? I can see you driving a green Lambo.
No,
green one.
as nice as those things are.
Yeah.
It draws a lot of attention to you, and I'm not a flashy guy.
You're a private guy, yeah.
I'm private. I'm public when I need to be for business, but personal life, really, like a lot of people don't really know too much about me and what I do. Same as like on social media, like I might not have the biggest following, but that's probably because I'm not putting the content out there that people are wanting to follow right now. Like I'm putting business stuff out, whereas like a lot of people, they want to see that you're eating at Salt Bay and you're in Dubai and you've rented a G-Wagon and stuff like that. For me, it's social media is business for me.
That's
Other than that,
be,
I have no interest in anyone knowing much about my personal life. Because again, we're in a world full of weirdos. And you start posting about your kids and tagging locations of where your kids are and your family, and that it just might be paranoid, but you hear so many stories of what people can get like when they get obsessed with people. I just, again, it's counterproductive in my eyes. But look, I've got nice cars, but the flashy cars don't do it for me. We've got a nice family car. I've got a nice car. We go on nice holidays. We've got a nice house, but it's not a mansion. It's not a supercar. We're not staying at the Palm. It's just nice, humble stuff.
Yeah. And I think when kids see that as well, it kind of conditions them in the right way, right?
Yeah, I think, and again, going back to the school, obviously there is a lot of what you're describing. Like, it's a common joke at this school, if you haven't got a Porsche Macan GTS, you shouldn't be there. And that seems to be the car of cars for the parents there. But that's, for me, again...
You might have to get one.
No, you know what? Like, it's all about being different as well, isn't it? Same as in business. You've got to have your niche. You've got to stand out. If we're all driving about in black Porsches, then...
Yeah, electric Porsches.
yeah. What's the difference? Like,
Yeah.
might as well go for something else and be a talking point.
Yeah, interesting. So how many times do you go? What's your like holidays? Do you because clearly you're a family man. You take great care of your family. Like, how many times a year do you go? Like, what is your routine, or is
So
it
obviously we're restricted by kids' holidays now.
Oh yeah.
We like like an Easter holiday. So last year we went to Mexico.
I've been there.
Nice. Yeah, Mexico was nice with the girls. They enjoyed that.
Cancun? Did you go Cancun?
No, I've done Cancun previously, but we went like Riviera Maya, so a bit calmer with the kids.
Okay.
And then within the family, we've got a house in Mallorca.
In Spain?
Yeah.
Right.
So we've just got back from 2 weeks there. So that tends to be the summer holiday.
So every summer you will go somewhere, right?
Yeah, every summer we always go to Mallorca.
Right.
We always work it out that summer's obviously the most expensive time to go away.
Yeah.
So we have our most cost-effective holiday in Mallorca because we have zero accommodation, so it's flight and then spending. And then we have a nice holiday at Easter. And then October time, depending on what's going on, we'll do something like a Centre Parks with the kids.
In UK?
In the UK, yeah.
Nice.
So, yeah. And weekends. If we can get some weekends away, then that's nice throughout the year as well to break it up.
Paul, how many hours do you like work every single day? Like, what's your, like, and I don't mean like intently, like, or however you do it.
Yeah.
What's your...
I'm a stop-start guy. So I'll typically start at 8:30.
Yeah.
And so again, because of family commitments, I like to take the kids to school. So I get the school run done in the morning. I go to the gym at 8:30. And
so what time do you take them to school? 7:30?
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
Yeah.
I haven't got kids.
yeah, 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then I go to the gym and I go to the cafe down there and I work until I feel that I can afford to stop. And then I'll go to the gym or I'll go for a swim or go for a sauna or whatever. And then I'll go back to the cafe and I'll work up until about 4:30. Then I'll go home, dinner with the kids, and then I'll pick the laptop up. It varies because with the mentorship, I have a few 7:30 webinars that I do.
Right.
So sometimes I'll shoot back out and I'll do my webinars.
Yeah.
Other times I'll have dinner and then I'll pick the laptop up at 8 o'clock and I'll probably work until like 10 o'clock.
Right.
But I do it because with the different businesses, I work out what a priority task during the day. So for instance, like with property, the bulk of my tasks can only be done between 9 and 5.
Yeah,
because I've got to get hold of solicitors, mortgage brokers, surveyors. So all my property tasks are like the bang on 9 o'clock, I'm smashing the phones on those tasks. And then if nobody answers, then I'm back on it at 12 and then I'm back on it at 3.
Yeah.
With stuff like prospecting for new mentees or prospecting for tickets for the event, that's kind of like my 8 to 10 in the evening session because that's when people are typically online talking, or that's my little Canva session where I'm doing thumbnails and stuff like that. But I'm big on like prioritizing my daytime hours being the task that I can only complete during daytime and not wasting it on
so you're productive with it. Like
yeah. I think too many people do whatever is easiest and quickest first.
Yeah.
But in reality, I don't know if do you know Brian Tracy, the guy?
Speaker.
Yeah. Have you ever read Eat My Frog?
No, but I've read of his other books.
So Eat My Frog is about if the first thing you did for breakfast was eat a frog, what's the worst that could happen to you throughout the day? Right. So how he translates that is basically you tackle
Do the difficult stuff first.
You tackle your most difficult task at the start of the day when your energy levels are at their highest.
Yeah.
Because all throughout the day you'll be putting it off, and your energy levels will go lower and lower, and then before you know it, you go, I'll do it tomorrow, and then tomorrow never comes.
Yeah.
So I remember reading that book and just thinking, God, he's describing me.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah.
Pain point, right?
Yeah, pain points, mate. That's it. He hit me. And then provided me with a solution. So
Yeah. Nice. Gym every single day?
You know what? No.
Right.
And that is purely because as much as sometimes I have the intentions, I'm at the gym, but I haven't gone to the gym. It's a common joke with Aaron. But you know, it is with property, you just never know what's going to get thrown at you in that day. As much as I go, right, 10 o'clock, I'm going upstairs. 10 o'clock comes and you get something thrown at you and you're like, I'm not resting until I sort this. Because with property deals, it can be the difference between tens of thousands, not just, oh, it's a few £100 that can wait until later. So for me, in my 8 years, I've lost too many deals to rest and think it can wait. Because for me, money can't wait. Like, if something's happened, I want to deal with it instantly to make sure that I've done everything I can to save it. So not every day, but I am working on it. I am working on changing it. But again,
I want to be your accountability partner.
Yeah. No, you know what it is as well. Like, for me, sometimes it's just, sometimes you take on too much as well, and there aren't enough hours in the day. Like, even though I might work 10, 12 hours in a day, that's still not enough.
Yeah. So what do you do with property stuff? Tell me, like, are you sourcing properties, or are you what are you doing with property stuff?
So I started off sourcing.
Yeah.
And I hated it because.
So you were literally going out, finding the property and selling it to an investor, yeah?
I was finding investors, then sourcing the property
for
them.
Yeah.
And I started doing it that way. And I just felt like you got messed about too much because they had another 5 sources sourcing for them. And they'd tell you that everything they're looking for, and then you present the property after like 3 weeks of searching. They go, but it's not got a garage. It's like, it wasn't on the list. Oh, it's not got off-street parking.
Yeah.
I've changed my mind. And I was just getting to the point where I was thinking, like, these guys are time wasters. Or you'd get it into legals, and then just before you exchange, they pull out, or they start trying to negotiate on the price. And I was just thinking, this isn't the way. So I took 6 weeks off. I took the whole of the summer off. Just before COVID, this was.
Right.
And I played a lot of golf on my own so that I could clear my head, and was just like brainstorming. And I just thought, you know what, there's got to be a better way. And I started going to different networking events during that period. And these were events outside of our industry. Because what I found is I was going to a lot of industry events and just seeing the same faces, constantly being in the room with the same people. All of my competition was never coming out of there thinking, I've just got 3 wicked contacts.
Yeah.
Like, it just didn't happen. So I started going to different events, and I went to this event in Essex. And
you like morning meetups and other business events and that sort of thing, or charity events, right?
Everything.
Right.
Anything and everything.
Right.
That I thought, I stepped back and I thought, who is my ideal client?
Yeah.
And I just thought, well, my ideal client is anybody that wants to be a property investor that isn't a property investor.
Yeah.
So who could that be? It's going to be managers, CEOs, directors, like people that have good jobs, not like multimillionaires, but have good jobs that want to enter the market at an entry level. So I ended up going to an event, and I met a financial advisor, and we got talking, and he said, I have clients all the time that I advise to go into property. And I was like, oh, wicked, what happens? He's like, I don't know. And I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, well, I'm not a property guy, so I don't know if they go on and they buy property. And I was like, interesting. What kind of return would they need? And he's like, 6%. I was like, gross. He's like, yeah. And I said, and how much money do they have? He said, oh, like 100, 200 grand.
Yeah.
And I said, cash. And he said, yeah. And I said, well, can they get mortgages? He's like, yeah. And I said, well, what if we basically create this one product that fits all. So a price point, a yield, has to be turnkey, tenants already in it.
Yeah.
And he went, well, let's trial it. So we got this portfolio of 5 properties in Lincolnshire. They were all yielding like 6.5%.
Yeah.
And he literally sold them within like 3 days. And I was like, okay, is this a fluke? And he's like, have you got any more? Have you got any more? And I was like, well, I can get some more. Like, they're not readily available like that.
Yeah.
Like, and he's like, yeah, get some more. And I think that very first month, we did 11 sales with him. And our average fee was about $9,000 at the time.
Yeah.
As a sourcing fee. And he was getting $3,500 of it. So this was a big money maker for him.
Of course.
And that was it.
It's crazy, just like that, doors opened, right?
It opened, and look, we probably did on average about 4 to 5 sales a month. And some months it would, like coming up to Christmas, it would slow down. But then coming out of, say, the tax year, when people knew how much money they had left, then we'd have a big month. Or sometimes actually the tax month was a big month because people realised how much of their allowance they hadn't spent, so they would go and spend. So we had peaks and troughs. But because we were able to get such big fees, like last year my average fee was 11,200. So it was like 9.8% commission. That was our average fee. It didn't really matter that we weren't doing volume because it meant I had more time to go and do other things, like this. But yeah, that was a bit of a changing point for me.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And I think the key message that I took from there was, even though what ended up was great, was which people hear this out. So you reset it, you went on the golf, you really refreshed your mind. Then you thought, right, I'm going to go to different networking events. So you got off your ass and you thought, you know what, I'm going here, I'm going to make this effort. And look what, right?
Yeah.
Look what ended up happening. You ended up getting deals. You ended up meeting a great connection. And this is what people don't do.
No. And that's why we've set up the networking company, because Aaron and I both realised that in order to truly network with people, you need to go to different style of events. And it's about being out of your comfort zone. And I found that when I was going to different events, because they were different industry events, because I was completely out of the industry, I then became the most interesting person in the room.
Yeah.
Which then put a spotlight on me, which was great. And now what we've done is we've created peak performance events, which basically has a different theme at every event. So the last one was social media. So it was all about the power of short form video content, which is obviously a massive thing right now.
Yeah.
And we got people from all walks of life. We had TV personalities, we had influencers, we had property guys, recruitment, insurance, mortgage brokers. Like everyone who wants to be big in short form content was there.
Yeah.
This next one's all about how to scale your business to 6, 7, 8 figures.
When is it?
November the 2nd.
Ah, okay. How many do you do a year?
4.
Every season or just every quarterly?
Yeah, quarterly. Although we're only doing 3 this year, and that's because we're both building some bits on the side for ourselves. So we decided to take the summer off. So we've got.
What do you mean building bits aside?
So I'm building my training academy right now.
Oh, right. Okay.
Aaron's building his program.
Makes sense.
And as I said, it's so time consuming. And what goes into creating that event is massive.
Yeah.
So we took a break.
Yeah, but still 3 is good enough, right?
3's good. I think, look, there's a difference between doing a monthly meet of 30 people and getting some of the biggest talkers and speakers and business owners and entrepreneurs in the country, in the world, onto a stage at the same time, on the same day, and filling a room with 250 people.
Yeah.
All buying tickets. Like, there's a huge difference in that, and logistically, it's a big thing.
Yeah.
But we like a challenge.
Yeah. Well, so to put an event together like the way you guys do, what does it cost, like roughly, to put like a big event together like that for 250
it's probably
people?
touching 10. Yeah, probably touching 10.
Interesting.
And
you're probably going to lose money as well, right?
Well, luckily we have sponsors. So our events are sponsored. So I think the last event we had 8 sponsors. So we always try to make sure that the sponsors that we have relate to the theme of the event, so that they can benefit from the right type of audience, and the audience will benefit from having the right type of sponsor and stands at the event. So we give the sponsors a stand. So during the networking
Oh, yeah, okay.
periods,
Yeah.
they're able to go a bit like when you go to one of these big kind of events at the Excel,
Yeah,
have a
yeah,
stand, and you're able to go there and they can showcase their service. So it's not a hard sell. There's no pitching on the stage. It's purely a case, if you want to go and see them, you can see them. If you don't, then you can just stay around the bar. But we have like live music, open bar. So it's a good vibe.
So so the people that are standing on the stands is like, it's up to the people in the crowd if they want to go there, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like we always say to them, like, the best thing you can do is bring 3 to 4 people with you, have 2 on the stand and 2 in the crowd.
Yeah, yeah.
And just have a few people out there, we call it fishing, a few people out there talking to people, and if they're interested in what you've got to talk, then take them over to the stand. We've had people just stand behind the stand and wonder why nobody comes and talks to them, and we kind of say, like, it's not a boot sale. Like,
Yeah,
people
yeah,
aren't
it's
going
not
to come. But again, like, you need to put yourself out there. Like, just expecting to put a post out on Instagram and that you're going to be flooded with inbound leads. It doesn't work like that. You need to outbound and everything like that.
Yeah. Interesting. And what is it? So what do you do with mentoring? Like, tell me a little bit about that.
So, as I said to you, I've just come from a mentoring session with a client. So, I originally had a business called Sales Training Made Simple, and it's exactly what it says it does. It's a sales training company that was focused around more businesses as opposed to individuals. So I was training brokerages, recruitment agencies, insurance brokers, estate agents. And not a lot of people really realised that I did that because it was so low key. Because I'm only one person, I didn't really need to advertise it because word of mouth was enough to give me enough business. But then that job, then I kind of found property through that job. And property was always something that I had an interest in.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to be an estate agent. I didn't have the money to be an investor at that time.
Okay.
And I found a way of obviously entering the property market without having money. And I learned a lot really, really quickly. I'm that guy that if I like something, I'm a sponge, and I'll go at it 100 miles an hour and just absorb as much as I can, learn from everyone, get myself in situations where I can provide mutually sort of beneficial exchanges with people. So they teach me what they know and I can give them something. So it might be they're interested in sales.
Yeah.
I'm interested in property. I learn their strategy. They learn a bit from me.
Yeah.
So I learned really, really quick. I'd say within 2 years, I learned a hell of a lot about most strategies.
Yeah,
so my very first strategy in property wasn't like sourcing flips or anything like that. It was fractional sales and freeholds and title splits and like quite intense stuff for someone just entering the market.
Yeah.
But I loved it, and it's problem solving every day, and every deal was different. And we would find blocks of apartments, sell them off individually to investors, complete on the freehold for £1, and then sell it off for 30 grand after. Like it was really, really wicked times.
Yeah.
Can't do that as much now because of leaseholds and what the freeholds are worth. But again, we adapt, don't we? Like right now, single let, buy to lets aren't the way to go for investors. So we adapt, and now we're focused around Airbnb and HMOs. Like it's just one of those things. But it's never bad. It's never a bad thing to learn a new skill or a new strategy. So we went into property as well. So I created Property Training Made Simple.
Yeah.
And then over the last 2 years, social media has been such a big part of my life, and I've had so much success, especially on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
That naturally I thought social media made simple would be a great addition. So recently I've just decided to incorporate them all under one academy. So we have the Training Made Simple Academy now, which incorporates all 3 businesses. And for me, if you're going to be a property sourcer, I think you need all 3. There's no point just learning strategy. If you don't have sales skills to negotiate sales, how to close, stuff like that, then you're never going to be successful. And unless you understand social media, nobody's ever going to know who you are.
Yeah.
So it's a really good way of giving them all the skills that they need instead of, again, most people know my views on it, but a 2-day extravaganza mastermind where you're just bamboozled with information and you come out and you're just like, what do I do?
Yeah.
So mentorship for me is the better option, because what people do is they basically pay for time instead of the course.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people say pay for the outcome and not the time. But for me, I think what takes me 2 hours to learn might take you 5.
Yeah.
And if a course is limited to 2 hours, then you're not going to get what you want. So typically people buy 10 hours at a time with me, and that might be 10 1-hour sessions over the course of 3 months. It might be 5 2-hour sessions in 1 month. It's entirely up to them.
Yeah.
But we do it so that we set goals. So it might be this month's all about just building your social media before you go out looking for investors. So build that shop window. Make sure you look attractive. Make sure you look credible. And then we have another session, another 2-hour session before, to make sure that the shop window looks good. And then we talk about strategy and sales and how you're going to sell your concept to them.
Yeah.
And then a month later, it might be that everything that they've struggled with in that month, maybe they haven't quite got the sales. We have another session to refine it and see how they're doing.
Yeah.
And that, for me, I think is the best way for someone to learn.
So who's your ideal client?
My ideal client is just someone who's keen as hell,
Yeah.
but isn't tied into a 9 to 5.
Right.
Because I feel like so many people have this.
So someone who's self-employed a bit, right?
Yeah, too many people have this thing in their head because they watch too much YouTube that you can side hustle a property business. It's hard enough being full-time in property finding the best deals, let alone saying, I work 9 to 5, so I'm going to do it on the weekends and evenings. Well, half the estate agents don't open on the weekends, and nobody's open past 5. They're putting the phones to voicemail at 10 to 5. So, like, you're never going to be successful in property doing it that way.
Yeah.
So for me, I want people that can. I'll give you an example. So for me, I've made over £600,000 in commission from leads that I've generated from LinkedIn.
Wow.
So they've been direct to vendor deals that are completely off market.
From LinkedIn, yeah?
From LinkedIn.
What are you doing, messaging people or connecting?
Nope. Just creating content that provides me with warm leads, and then I then contact them in the DM. A post in itself isn't going to be enough to sell someone on you. You've got to sell them in the DMs or on the phone. But I've just built a course literally last week, and today I have 5 guinea pigs test running that course with me. And basically when I picked them, I said, you have to be able to action every module when I give it to you.
Yeah.
So today they've got modules 1 and 2. Has to be actioned by tonight. Anyone that doesn't action it, they're out of the group. Like, that's the commitment I want. Because the only way we're going to get it is if we have that momentum and that flow.
Got it.
Whereas, like, when it's bit piece and, I've got a project for the next 4 days, so I'll pick it up next month, you're going to forget what you did on the last session.
Yeah.
So we're rolling with that at the moment, and it's going to be really interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing the results.
Nice.
But they're keen as hell. The ones that I seem to be inheriting a lot of right now are the guys that are 10 grand deep into paying for courses and still haven't done their first deal.
Yeah.
And it's because, and I use this word all the time, they've not had the implementation. They've got the idea, they understand it.
Yeah.
But what they don't understand is just, how do I get it going? What do I say when I put the offer forward and now for proof of funds? What do I do when this? Because you go on these courses, they give you a script, and it all sounds if you read this script, you will secure that deal. But guess what? They know the script better than you know the script, because every other fucker has read it to them.
Yeah.
So for me, it's got to be implemented, and you learn as you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's who we're inheriting. We're inheriting a lot of people that have spent a lot of money, and that's fine because they come with a good basis. There's a few bad habits in there, but they come with a good kind of foundation of understanding what they want to do. It's just getting them out.
Interesting. So what would you say to someone who wants to blow up on social media, TikTok? Can you
TikTok.
can you give anything of that? Because I'm sure Aaron has, right?
Yeah, I mean, like Aaron has. So I'm going to say what Aaron says because I'm more about LinkedIn than TikTok.
Right.
For me, my audience are on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
So I haven't spent too much time on TikTok. But what Aaron would say on TikTok is consistency, show up every day,
Yeah.
and just do true content to yourself. Don't just try and do the clickbait stuff. But Aaron will post 2 to 3 times a day, and he'll be on the lives at least once a day.
Yeah.
And the lives won't be him just sitting there talking about his life. The lives will be a webinar. So where you and
Like
I
an
might
educational.
where you and I might do it on Zoom.
Yeah.
Aaron will be advertising across all platforms that I'm going live on TikTok, and this session is all about how to solve imposter syndrome if you're thinking of leaving your job. And then for an hour and a half to 2 hours, he's in his office with his whiteboard, and he's picking people out of the crowd. Give me your situation. This is what I would do. And then he's directing them to his course, or he's directing them to a one-to-one call. And he's just gained this really loyal following on there.
Like a community type thing,
Yeah. But he's tried and tested the platform, what works, what doesn't.
And you've got to do all that, right?
Yeah. And when people say, oh, you got so lucky with that one, because he's got some that have hit like 20 million views and stuff like that. And he's like, he gets really angry. You can see it in his face because he's like, it's not luck. It's like, this is like 1,000 posts later after understanding it. But the thing is, he will text me and go, watch this one. And he's just got to the point now where he knows which ones are going to blow and which ones will sizzle and all of that. But yeah, TikTok, I think, is consistency because one video isn't going to do enough. You need consistent views on your videos.
Interesting. What about, how would you say if someone wanted to blow up on LinkedIn, for example? What would you say on that? Hey YouTube, I'm really sorry to cut you off, but I have to share this with you. I want you to get to your next level, and I believe that personal development is the gateway to success. So what I've done is I've gone and created a 7-day free audio course. This is totally free. All you have to do is sign up, and from day 1 till day 7, every single day, you will receive a 2-minute audio from me, which will elevate your mindset and give you power in your business. Make sure you go and sign up and let me know how you find it.
So LinkedIn, I think the main thing is you need to understand who your audience is first.
Okay.
So, like I said, I've just come from a session with one of my mentees, and we sat down for an hour and 20 minutes because he did not know who his client was. But
most don't.
But then we realised there's 6 potential clients.
Yeah.
So we had to brainstorm for each client, and it was what we were working out is, so who is the client?
Yeah.
Where are they? Where do we find them? How do we find them? What's their age? What's their gender, if that matters? What's their location? What are the pain points? What are they going through right now?
Yeah.
Once we work out the pain points, we then work out what solutions to us of our service would provide a solution to their pain point.
Yeah.
And once you do that, then you build your content around those pain points. So you've probably seen like the stages where you have hook, delivery, call to action.
Yeah.
So the hook is the pain point.
Yeah.
And then the delivery is the solution. And then the call to action is getting them to DM you, comment, go to your website, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
That is but the thing with LinkedIn is there's more action takers on there. So you don't need 20 million views. You just need 5 people to click on the link.
Yeah.
And they'll take action, or you just need 5 people to DM you. My biggest way of generating leads on LinkedIn is by doing polls.
Okay.
So but basically when you find out someone's pain point, it's effectively telling you this is how to sell me.
Yeah.
So I always think of the 4 pain points that I think are the most common, and those pain points then become the options of the poll. So let's say, for instance, I don't know, say you were doing like a health one, like maybe in January you put like most people, they come up with excuses as to why they're not going to join the gym.
Yeah.
What's your reason? And then you put the 4 pain points why people might do it, and it might be lack of time, lack of money, lack of motivation, might be anything.
Whatever, yeah.
But all they're doing is giving you their excuse. And then what you do is you create 4 separate responses aimed at that excuse.
Yeah.
And then you provide a solution on how you can help them with that. So if it was a lack of time, it might be that you do online sessions, for instance. If it was a lack of money, again, it could be that you do group sessions in the park, so they don't need an expensive membership. If it's a lack of motivation, it might be that you do something where you pair 2 people in a similar location as accountability partners up.
Yeah.
But not one way is ever going to, it's not like one product fits all. What sells you might not sell the girl behind the camera right now. So I need to understand what is it that you're looking for before I even know what route to go down.
Yeah. Interesting.
And that's the thing, most people just post, look how amazing I am, look at this set of keys. Like, it's all stuff like that. It's all me.
Yeah.
But in reality, me isn't going to get you to come and buy from me.
Yeah. Very true. This is a great masterclass going on, by the way. I'm enjoying it.
I'll invoice you after.
Yeah. And everyone that's watching.
No, it's good.
What's the Roundtable podcast? Is that the...
Yeah, so that's Aaron's podcast. Aaron's the host.
Because you're a sponsor, right?
Yeah, although at the moment we're doing 2 different things. So we've not done a podcast for a while. And as I mentioned to you, we've just had some talks with a new sponsor, which will be even better for the podcast. And then we can use money to...
Yeah. Because Casita Properties is yours, isn't it?
Casita's mine, yeah. So the Roundtable podcast
I remember, and it's like Casita Properties, and I was like, who is this Casita Properties?
You know what, right? A lot of people have asked me about the name, and we spoke off
I
air
know where
about,
it comes from.
Yeah, we spoke about Mexico.
Yeah.
And I got engaged in a casita, which is like Mexican for small hut. And it just kind of stuck, named my house it. And it kind of made sense that what I was focused on was finding the small houses up north. So it stuck. And when I originally set the business up, I had this really corporate logo. It's like gold and navy blue, and it's like a symbol of a hat. Like, it was awful. And when I took that time off, I went through a period where I was like, you know what, to make this work, I'm going to rebrand, I'm going to do everything. So I employed a branding company.
Right.
And I invested just under 10 grand. And they completely rebranded the business, new website, everything. And a lot of people said to me, that is a lot of money. But you know what? People will invest 10 grand into their education. It was like an education for me because we dropped the name Properties. We just had it as Casita. And the thinking behind that was, right now, people will make a decision on what they think you do. They think you're a builder. They think you're an estate agent, whatever it is. But just by the word Casita and having this little logo of a house, in their mind they think, is it something to do with a house? But they'll ask you, what is Casita? So it's a great conversation starter.
Yeah.
More recently, everyone keeps asking me, did it come from Encanto? No, it was it was definitely thought of before that. But it was everything, even down to like the colours, the font, the fact it's not all uppercase, like the education that they gave me. Like, you know, you can go on Fiverr and you can pay someone in Thailand 20 quid to create a logo, and he sends you 5 logos and you go, the middle one. But this was like, so we've gone for this font because it's X, Y, and Z. And we've gone for this colour because you said you wanted to be friendly, open and inviting as opposed to it being corporate and aggressive. So we haven't got the red and we haven't got the blue. When you sit back and you look at that, you're getting that service that you're paying for. And the branding has definitely been something that people have recognised, and it really has helped.
And I think because you've got a story attached to it, which is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Because you could literally sit here and talk half an hour just on that.
Yeah.
And most people really don't have a clue what logo they have or why they have it or what's the reason.
Half the people got the same logo as the rest of the people that have been through a course, haven't they? They've gone on Canva and you just put property logo and there's this standard one of like a silhouette like that and everyone's got it. And it's just like there's no... you got to be different to stand out. No matter how big or small your business is, you've got to be able to stand out. You've got to brand everything. I mean, like, this is a rarity that I'm on a podcast. I'm not wearing branded gear today.
I was going to ask you that. As soon as you come on, I thought, where's his stuff? I thought maybe he doesn't want to.
Yeah, usually I would. I don't know why I didn't today. But yeah, everything's branded. Laptop bags, pens, pads, like everything is.
Yeah. That's how it needs to be. So you mentioned marriage. How long have you been married now?
10 years this month.
Does that face, because look, for me, like, reading is like what you've done and what you do, and you know, you're a high performing guy, right? You make money, you know, you're all about business. It's no fluffing about. What's the challenges marriage brings, and how important is it to have the right partner with the right understanding? Because 10 years is a decade. That is a very long time.
It's a long time.
Give me some education on that, and the people the education on that, because for me, like, I'll just give you an example. Like, I'm at the point where, like, it scares me a little bit.
When you think marriage for 10 years, but together for nearly 20, so you're very different people when you meet. I was 17. I'm like nearly 37.
Yeah.
So the boy that I was then, I'd say I've evolved maybe 5 different times during that period.
Yeah.
So there are times when the person you evolve into, maybe your partner doesn't quite like that person.
Yeah.
And she'll probably argue she doesn't like this person right now. But the thing is, you grow into the shoes that you need to wear to fit the role that you're in. And for me right now, standing on a stage in front of 250 people, being on podcasts once or twice a month, holding webinars, hosting my first solo live property event, like, there has to be that level of confidence. And I think sometimes people confuse confidence with arrogance.
Yeah.
But I'm a very confident person, and I say it how it is, and I've had to get that thick skin. So there are times when maybe business does cause conflict, especially with, look, I'm away from home today.
Yeah.
Kids are off on kids' holiday, so my wife's working. Does
she work as well?
She works a few days a week, yeah.
Right.
I think that's more for sanity. But look, the kids are both off on holidays. One's over there, one's over there. She's at work. I'm up here having a jolly. But unfortunately, it's part of the parcel, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, when you're building something, it is going to mean time away from family. It is going to mean even when you're at home, you're not there. You're there, but you're not.
Yeah.
And that's a common thing. But I think as long as you can both see why you're doing it, and what the end goal is and what the end outcome is, that is, if you're doing all of this and there's no money coming through the door, then I think it makes it a difficult thing, because you're chasing a dream and the other person isn't on the page. And I think, again, sometimes a lot of people say it's better to meet the person before you become successful than meet someone once you are successful, because you never know their true kind of reasoning for being with you.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to say for meeting someone and staying together for that long, but has it had ups and downs? Of course. Like, that's just standard. And same as business. Like, when business is good, everything's great at home. When business is bad, you take it home and you take it out on the ones that you love, unfortunately.
Interesting.
But we're still here.
Yeah. You're both committed to the journey, right? The goal, the end. That's the main thing.
Look, we've both got that common goal, which is to give our kids the best life that we can. And as I said, that is my driving force. Like, the driving force for me isn't I want to hit £1 million in the next 6 years, or I want to go on a private jet. It doesn't. Don't get me wrong. If someone invited me on one, I'd take it.
Yeah.
But where I am right now, 10 grand to fly somewhere that would cost me 200 quid on EasyJet and get me there no quicker, it's almost like I could do a lot with that money right now. Or that's a term at school. Like, you see what I mean? So for me, I think my priorities are so strong that
It's good because you know I can see like you know what your priorities are, you know what your tasks are, and you know you're doing them, and that's what's important right now.
yeah.
Because you're focused. So, books. Do you read a lot of books?
I used to read a lot of books.
Yeah.
Now I listen to more books, but I find
Same thing.
Yeah,
right?
but I
Yeah.
find at the moment I'm listening to a lot more of YouTube.
There's a lot of good stuff there, isn't it?
Yeah, I find Audible quite difficult because especially an author isn't always the best person to narrate a book as well.
Yeah.
And I find sometimes that with a book that I'm really interested in, I can be put off the book just because I don't like the narrator's voice. So I'll like keep that one to the side and say I'll read that next holiday. But YouTube, manageable like 30-minute sessions are quite good for me. But sometimes I can get distracted from listening to that and trying to do something else. But I read as much as I can. I listen daily. I'm listening to stuff, and I'm forever writing notes.
Nice.
But I like a good event as well. I like going to events where I can learn, and ideally going to events where it's not just one big pitch.
Yeah.
That puts me off a lot when you just know you're going somewhere, and it's just one big pitch on stage.
Yeah. So, do you do webinars every single day?
No, not every day. Right. So where we've rebranded to Training Made Simple this month, I dedicated August being a month of free training. So we've been doing about 2 a week.
Yeah.
At the moment, we've been doing one at 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And one at 7:30. So we're tapping both kind of markets of people that are at work and aren't at work.
What are you finding works better?
It's 50-50.
Wow.
Yeah. It's 50-50. And I'm getting a lot of people that are on the webinar with no camera. So they're probably at work listening in.
I hate that.
Yeah, but you know what? I've had some good responses from people after that have
As long as you get the leads, but yeah, I hear
Yeah. I mean, like for me, the main thing is adding as much value during the free time as I can.
Yeah.
Getting exposure and getting some new eyes on us.
Yeah.
Every webinar is different. There's only one webinar that we run every 2 weeks that's the same. Outside of that, it's we get a guest speaker in covering a different topic every time.
Nice.
But yeah, we make it different, and we got like a good following now. So we set up. I've never really been a fan of Facebook. We set up a Facebook group about a month and a half ago.
Mate, it's really good.
We're already at 1,100 followers in the group.
How many are you posting up there? What are you posting? Anything or?
I'm mainly just posting the links to the webinars that we're doing.
Facebook is great.
And yeah, we're getting a good response on there. More than I've ever had off of Instagram. I can hand on heart say
Instagram.
I have had 0 income generated from Instagram.
Yeah.
Nothing. LinkedIn by far has been the biggest one. TikTok, I'm sure if I put time into it, I would probably generate it. But right now, Facebook and LinkedIn are the ones.
Really good, yeah.
Which, if you talk to other people saying I'm spending all my time on TikTok and Instagram. So I guess it depends what your offering is.
Again, it does, yeah. It does, yeah. Okay, what's next for you then?
Well, yeah, other than world domination, you know what? I'm happy with everything that I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
It's just, for me, it's building consistency in all businesses. As I said to you, the property stuff's slid down a little bit right now.
Yeah.
Which is fine, like property's peaks and troughs. But what would be great is if I can get the events business and the mentoring business to a high level that when property kicks back in, we're going to be at a really good level across all 3 businesses. The event, again, we're looking to go bigger and better every time.
Yeah.
I'm happy with how that's going. To think last February we were outside of London, 70 people in a room that were, I'd say 90% were our friends, to 250 people in a wicked venue in London with Daniel Priestley, Shah Woosman, Jason Greystone all speaking at our next event. It's that in itself is an incredible achievement.
Yeah, because by the time this comes out, It'll be before the event anyway.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So
I'll be there as well. I'm gonna go.
wicked.
I'm gonna come. To
Yeah,
that
yeah,
one.
come down. Definitely come.
Yeah.
But yeah, with the mentoring business, I'd love to bring some people on, and just build. You know what? Just build it
Yeah.
so that people understand why one-to-one mentorship is much better than these big groups. I know that people like going to the big group sessions because you get to meet people doing the same as you, but that's what the Facebook group's for. That's
Yeah.
what the WhatsApp group is for, that we have £49 a month to join our WhatsApp group with 2 elite mentorship calls a month.
Yeah.
That's what that's built for. But you don't pay 10 grand for a social. You pay 10 grand to get 10 grand back in your first year and
Yeah.
make plus profit.
Definitely.
So for me, 10 grand, you'd struggle to spend that in the first year with me on one-to-ones. But the thing is, you'll get to a stage where you won't need it because you'll be learning so much quicker. And for me, it's more about having more success stories with people, like everyone that comes on board actually being a success, than thinking, well, we've had 200 bums on seats, we've got a few grand out of each of them, and I'm happy if we just get 3 testimonials. Doesn't work for me. Yeah.
Look, I'm a big believer in mentors, and I believe that everybody should get a mentor. Like I bang on about all that every single day on my social media channels, and so any final messages you want to give to people before we wrap this up?
Yeah, I think believe in yourself that's definitely one thing that I say to people. It's really tough, especially if you don't have the right people around you.
Yeah.
It's really tough to actually believe that you can do something.
Yeah.
Because it can seem quite big at the very start.
Yeah.
So I think your mind basically is right all the time. If you think you can do it, you can do it.
Yep.
And if you think you can't, then you can't. I've got very high expectations of what's achievable for me, and there's not a lot that I think that I won't be able to do.
Yeah.
But I know whenever I've doubted if I can do something, I either haven't got the result I wanted, or the result has taken a lot longer. So having that confidence, or even overconfidence of being able to achieve it, is definitely something I think people should have. But having the right education, being prepared, taking the right steps, and having people that have gone through what you want to go through next to you, so that when you hit those hurdles that they've already hit, you can get that advice. Because I'm sure, like you, mistakes in property are bloody expensive. So if you can learn from someone else's mistakes, then you can keep a lot more cash in your pocket.
Well said. Look, it was great connecting with you.
Yeah,
Thank you for coming, and keep doing good stuff. You're doing great things, and we'll put all your websites and all the links to your stuff in the description below.
Cool.
And it was a really good conversation. Thank you for coming. Brilliant.